What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to bring you 40 facts in the Warhammer 40K universe. Now, before I get into it, I just want to say that I went to my first anime convention yesterday, and it was pretty awesome. If you guys haven't been to a convention, whether it's like anime or Warhammer 40K, anything like that, video game convention, E3, that kind of thing, I'd say go for it. It's really fun. You get to meet a whole bunch of people that have the same interests as you. And like I said, it's a great experience, so go ahead and try that. Also, I saw Deadpool 2. That was pretty good, too. So it was a crazy day yesterday. Lots of anime titties. But anyway, this video is all about the fan fictions, the lore of 40K once again. And we are covering a Chaos chapter that I feel kind of gets left out a lot. And that is the Night Lords. So with this fan lore, we're talking about a splinter, I guess chapter so to speak, from the Night Lords called the Night Haunters. So without further ado, guys, let's dive in to this epic grisly lore. The Night Haunters are a unique chapter in that they do not come from a loyalist legion. They descend from the 8th Legion, the Night Lords. After the Isstvan V incident, the Loyalists took a huge hit, and the legions were in question. The Salamanders, the Iron Hands, and the Raven Guard. After this incident, the Raven Guard did a call to arms, and all the scattered legions and many answered. Many were from the shattered legions that fought on Isstvan V, but some came from the traitor legions, and one of these were the Night Lords. A small fleet of ships came to answer the Raven Guard's call for aid. In the fleet, only 1,000 Astartes came to aid. After extensive interrogation, and being led by a librarian physically, they could finally join the ranks. Lord Korax and his legion taught the Marines of the Raven Guard doctrines and tactics of stealth and infiltration to this legion. Many of the Marines adapted it okay, but the Night Lords have lots of trouble, for their doctrines was to bring fear to the enemy, and for their presence to be known. But eventually they came to respect the tactic of the Raven Guard. Together the Raven Guard and their allies dealt many blows to the traitors during the Horus Heresy. After the end of the heresy, the Imperium wanted to be rid of all the Night Lords that were fighting alongside the Raven Guard and charged them as being traitors. But Corvus Corax, the Lord of the Raven Guard, stood for them. He said that they are indeed loyal and that they fight for the Imperium. After the Raven Lord's speech, the remaining Primarchs and High Lords agreed that the Loyalist Night Lords can remain in the Imperium, and so the Night Haunters were born. They took the name from their title that was given to their Primarch during his vengeful cleansing of his homeworld. It was rumored that the captured Night Lords by the Dark Angels were recruited into this legion, but this has not been confirmed. The chapter structure is unique to the Night Lords, in that there is not one chapter master in charge of the whole chapter, but rather a council of 8 Marines, each of them a chapter master by themselves. Similar to the Creptoria during the Heresy, they discuss and decide what to do. They still have terror and raptor squads, but instead of just spreading terror and fear, they also use stealth and infiltration. Their colors and markings are still the same from the Heresy, for that they must always remember their past and where they came from. In their armor, they have a large amount of Heresy pattern Terminator, as well as power armor. But they are renowned for their dreadnoughts, for they deploy many types of patterns, for example, Ironclad, Doretio, Contemptor, as well as Leviathan dreadnoughts. Their tactics are now a mixture of stealth, fear, and brute force. They mix and match these 3 elements depending on the situation, and they are surprisingly close with the Inquisition, and they tend to ally with the Ordo Hereticus in hunting down and obliterating any heretics that they come across. Most Imperial scholars believe that this chapter does this to keep the Inquisition off their back. These rumored numbers of over 1,500 does not help them, but they are indeed very close with the Raven Guard, Salamanders, Blood Angels, and the Flesh Terrors. They still wear the same colors from the Heresy, and they still use the same symbol. As for their gene seed, it comes from Conrad Kurz. And that's pretty much all he has on this Legion of Night Lords that go by the name of the Night Hunters. So it's pretty interesting. Like I said, we don't really cover too much lore on the Night Hunters, or the Night Lords, sorry. And this just seems like a Loyalist Night Lord chapter. I feel like you need to kind of refine what their tactics are, because again, Night Lords are all about, instilling fear into the battlefield, terrorizing people, using brutal methods of warfare, while you also say that they're stealthy. It's kind of hard to be stealthy. Like I could understand them being like stealthy at first, and then they like come in for a brutal attack. But you said they like to use dreadnoughts, and dreadnoughts are not stealthy at all. You're gonna hear these lumbering behemoths coming into battle, and it might be a scary sight to some, but that's kind of goes against the whole terror aspect of the Night Lords. But again, it's a cool concept. I really like how you're bringing, a traitor legion into being loyalist. So that's pretty cool. But again, guys, that's just my thoughts, my opinions. If you guys have any other constructive criticism, please let them know down in the comments below. Now, I'm not exactly sure who sent this in to me, since the name you sent was Conrad Kurz. So if it is indeed you, Mr. Kurz, you probably saw this coming since you got premonition and whatnot, so don't smite me. But yeah, guys, this was just another short fan lore. I've been trying to knock a whole bunch out this past week, so I think I knocked off enough as to where I'll go back to covering the main 40 facts. Expect some lore on wraiths next week. I'm also going to continue my own lore on the Tau contingent, the Burning Moon contingent, so stay tuned for that. And hopefully I get to show off the painted miniatures that I've had commissioned by Hydra Miniature Painting Studios. But again, I'm not sure exactly when those will be done. So, stay subscribed. We got more epicness coming your way. And yeah, that's all I've got. So again, guys, this is the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.